Hello, everyone. My guest today is Tal Gavoli. He is the CEO and co-founder of a company called MedAdvisor, leading a revolution in how health information should be presented, making it personal. All right, Tal, you're ready to take us to the top.
Sure. So when people are diagnosed with illness, they're not really given a lot of great information from their healthcare provider. They'd like to educate them, they'd like to spend time with them, but they really can't do that. So instead, patients are left on their own. They go directly to Dr. Google, to the wild web, which just overwhelms with them with repetitive, irrelevant, outdated, unreliable, unsafe, and incomprehensible health information. They really don't know what to trust, what applies to them, and what they should do. So that really leaves them in a daze, and doctors can't keep up with all medical advancements, can't help them resolve those issues. What we do is get them the personally relevant, cutting-edge health information that really matters to them.
Okay, and how do you, so I would say, okay, WebMD, right? That's what most people use. Why? I don't understand how you're better. How do you get personal information on me to make sure you give me better advice than I could get from WebMD?
First of all, WebMD will be generic. What you do to use MedAdvisor is you first create a medical profile on MedAdvisor. So we ask you about 10 questions about yourself and about 5 to 15 questions about each medical condition that you're coping with. So we actually know where you're at within your treatment journey, within the specifics of your medical condition. And we use that to figure out what of the 42,000 research papers that were published last year on diabetes, or the 1,688 open interventional recruiting clinical trials for breast cancer, would be irrelevant to a given patient. Now, WebMD doesn't do any of that. So there's some static information, and everybody that's looking for prostate cancer information will see exactly the same thing. Mm-hmm. In MedAdvisor, every person will get exactly what's relevant just for them.
Okay, and how do you even if they are going through a medical condition, that is still a lot of friction to get to a result. A bunch of questions. Like, first of all, I don't even remember half the stuff that I have. What shots? I get asked these medical questions all the time when I go to the doctor, and half the people don't know, including myself. So, how do you get people to go through that friction? And then, what's your revenue model? How do you make money from this?
Okay, sure. So first, you tell us only what you know. Okay, that's one thing. So we ask a bunch of questions, and if you know the answers, great. If you don't, just say I don't know and skip it. So tell us as much as you can. And most people know what meds they're taking, what the doctor told them. Do they have type 1 or type 2? What's the A1C level in their last result? They know information about themselves, or what type of breast cancer they had, and so on. So they know enough to give us a direction. That's one. So they first provide that information. By the way, the more information they provide, the more personalized it is. And how we make money, so on one hand, we license the technology and content to various partners like the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, like healthcare providers. And on the other hand, we are paid by biopharma to reach and engage hard-to-find patients without compromising the privacy or the security of the patient. So the patient is always in the driver's seat. They always are the ones that make the choices.
Okay, so this is basically a licensing model. You're licensing the tech out, and then the big companies are paying you to get basically HIPAA-compliant information to help and get people more value.
Yeah, and by the way, also, for example, for patient recruitment. So the biopharma are spending billions each year just to find patients for their recruiting clinical trials. And patients actually want to know if there's a clinical trial that could help them. So we help make those matches.
So help me
without. Yeah.
Help me understand which of these revenue streams is larger for you. It sounds like there's two separate things here.
Right. So ultimately, over time, it's going to be basically the biopharma is going to be larger.
What is it today, though? What's larger?
Today, it's about 50-50.
Oh, it is. It's right down the middle. Okay, interesting. And put this on a timeline for us. When did you launch the company?
Late 2012.
Okay, 2012, and why? Give me a little insight into where you were in life. Did you just leave corporate and want to do your own thing, or why'd you launch it?
No, actually, we all have seen the issue, the problems coping with serious or chronic illness in the family. So family members with cancer. Ultimately, my daughter also fell ill and required a heart transplant. So each of us became what I call a chronic web researcher in their own right. And we realized that the thing is broken, basically, that when patients or care really want to know more, there's really nothing that they say that quenches their thirst for knowledge. So we all want to know more to be able to help navigate the care. If we weren't empowered patients, we wouldn't be able to do our loved ones. So we thought, why can't we bring this sort of capability to everybody?
And who is we? What's the team size today?
So my co-founders and I'm a software developer grown up. I've led innovation in large and small companies over the years. My partner, friend of mine from elementary school, he was ex-faculty of Yale and Columbia. He started over 10 other health tech companies. He's called Oren Fierst. And Professor Steve Kaplan, he's a world-famous urologist, an accomplished researcher, and an entrepreneur. So basically, that's the team that set up MedAdvisor. And now we're about 35 contributors around the world working on what we're doing now.
Is that full? Those are full-time people?
No, we don't have 35 full-time staff. Most of the team is part-time. There's a core of about 6-7 people full-time.
Okay, so 7 full-time, and then call it maybe 20, 25 kind of freelancers.
Yeah, more 35 freelancers. So it's more like maybe 50 people around MedAdvisor right now. Yeah.
Got it. I see. And those people that are kind of off and on, they're looking at the research, they're tweaking things, they're making the engine more effective. Like, what are they contributing typically?
Yeah, so we have a patented technology, granted patent on the core technology.
Have you defended it yet?
Yes. No, well, we haven't asserted it. We haven't prosecuted it against anybody. We just got the patent. So we're not running. I don't know that anybody's infringing it yet. So until I know that somebody's doing what we're doing, we don't know that there's no need to defend it yet. So anyway, so basically, eventually it may be useful. Right now, we're just doing our diligence and protecting the IP that we're creating. But we also have a model where contributors around the world create and contribute to our content. They train the algorithms, vet the outcome of the algorithms, and so on.
Okay, and bootstrap this, or have you raised capital?
We've raised capital.
Okay, how much have you raised?
Several $1 million from angel investors.
Okay, did you do a convertible note, or was actual equity?
So we did a convertible, then equity. So right now there's no notes. Everything's all shares. It's all converted. It's all converted.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
We are about to raise capital, but right now we're.
Okay. So let's say you raised call between $1 and $5 million. Is that fair to say when you say a couple million?
Yes.
Okay. And walk us through the decision today. Why are you raising additional capital?
Well, because we're not profitable yet. So as long we see profitability on the horizon, but we're not there yet. So when we don't need capital when we're either profitable or we don't need to grow more faster than we are today. Today we're, by the way, helping over 130,000 subscribers in 129 countries, though the vast majority are in the U.S. But we will need more capital because otherwise we're going to run out of cash at some point.
Mm-hmm. And how much are you looking to raise right now?
A couple million.
Okay, so maybe another 1 to 5.
Yeah.
And if you do get that capital, how many months or what month do you think you hit profitability or break even?
We have a plan to reach profitability within 12 months.
Okay, so you have 12 months from the raise or 12 months from today?
12 months from the raise.
Okay, so let's say if that takes 6 months, so you're talking like late 2019, maybe early 2020.
We think we're going to raise it much sooner than 6 months, but yes.
Okay. And what gives you the confidence you're going to raise so quickly?
Well, partners and investors that we're in touch with, obviously, and it never took us 6 months to raise money. So we think we could do it faster.
Great.
But yeah, on average, I think that's a safe assumption in general that it takes 6 months. It just hasn't taken us that long.
Yeah, no, that's great. I want to dive more into the kind of this 50-50 split between kind of biopharma folks paying you directly, and then it sounds like the other side is you're licensing the technology out. Help me understand, if I'm a biopharma firm and I'm paying you, I mean, I don't know if I'm paying you like $1 per search or like $1 million. Are you like enterprise, or are you more high volume, low ARPU?
No, more. It's usually bigger, longer deals to longer term engagement. So, for example, a clinical trial that wants to be accelerated, it could be a 6-figure deal to work with us to help accelerate that trial.
Okay. So, I mean, is it fair to say a good average on the biopharma side might be called a $80,000, $90,000 kind of 12-month deal?
I think it's premature to decide, to determine the deal size per type of deal. We have right now.
No, I'm just looking for your average Tal. I mean, look at your historical cohort. I'm just curious.
Yeah, that it could be fair. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it could be fair or it is fair. When you look at all the past deals you've done, are they generally in that range?
I would say that sounds right.
Okay. Okay, cool. That's helpful to understand. So, because my follow-up question to that is, what does the sales process on that look like? Are you out hustling, driving the sales, or do you have a sales team, or how's that work?
That's how it's going to work. Okay. So far, the interesting thing is that the last four deals have come to us and closed within 3 months. So without us even meeting them. Yeah, we had phone conversations and so on, but the last deals have actually discovered us online, found out that we could help them, and engaged with us. So now we don't think that's going to continue or maximize the market opportunity by doing that. So we're going to have a sales force that actually goes and targets these specific partners for us.
Mm-hmm. Yep, of course. And then when you look over the past 6 years since your 2012 launch, how many of these biopharma deals have you closed? Obviously, it's more than 4 because you just said you had 4 in the recent past. But how many total?
Yeah, so I'm not going to go into that. But first of all, we didn't launch in 2012. We launched in 2013. In the summer of 2013, we had a beta. The company was launched in 2012. But it took us a while to build the product, get the technology up, and so on.
Okay, well, just because that's what I meant, right? You launched in 2012. That was when the company launched.
That's
you go to market 2013. You have kind of 5 years to be selling. So again, how many of those biopharma deals have you closed? Are we talking like 10 or 100?
No. We're closer to 10 than to 100.
Okay, fair enough.
These are these are not hundreds of deals. But of course, that's the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. And it sounds like growth is pretty healthy. It sounds like in the past just 12 months alone, you've had 4 or 5 come in, or 3 or 4 come in, kind of no touch, right?
Yeah.
That's great. And then educate us on the other end of this. So the licensing, the actual technology, how much of this is actually kind of codified, especially considering you have 35 kind of freelancers who are constantly tweaking it. Do all the license partners get all those tweaks as well?
So when I say tweaking it, it's all individualized items of information. So it's very scalable in terms of the process. But the license, I'll give an example. The Leukemia Lymphoma Society, they have an online community that they're trying to cultivate. They sponsor blood cancers in MedAdvisor, and they license the content that we provide so that we could feed it into their community members. So that's an example of this licensing.
Well, are they licensing Are they licensing the content? Because you just mentioned earlier, you're like finding research reports on very specific things based off questions your subscribers ask. That's not your content, but you're making the content way easier to discover for the right person. So are you licensing the actual tech to them for discoverability, or you're actually creating original content?
We're creating original content as well. So basically, what would it help that we give a 20-page PhD-oriented research article to a lay person coping with lymphoma?
No, but that's why WebMD is successful. It dumbs everything down.
Well, we don't dumb it down. We interpret and summarize it and allow people to make well-informed decisions about their care. And by the way, WebMD doesn't do that for the latest research. So if you understand, I mean, WebMD's information is essentially fairly static. There's a page about lymphoma and about treatment options, but it doesn't get updated every research paper that gets updated. Now, as an individual, I care if there's something that could affect my personal care or my loved one. That's what we do. And we basically interpret research and create these summaries that are useful for patients. And those are the things that are original content that MedAdvisor consistently creates.
And on the licensing side, like the Leukemia Society you just mentioned, so help me understand. Don't tell me obviously what they're paying specifically, but on average, what does that kind of product look like? What do you charge for that kind of thing?
We won't get into that, but it's a substantial long-term engagement.
Okay.
So something that...
Yeah, I don't care about if it's long-term, short-term, high or low. I care about how you price. Is it usage based off number of searches? I mean, how do you structure the pricing?
It's basically a monthly subscription to this content for them.
Okay, but there's no there's no ability for you to charge more if you know that they're going to have 100,000 searches a month versus only 5 searches per month?
Okay. What we provide them is not the personalized aspect. For the personalization, they refer back to us. Okay. So these individuals that are coping, they could get unpersonalized content there, and if they want it personalized, they come to us and subscribe. So they're also referring essentially more subscribers to MedAdvisor as part of this process as well. What they license is unpersonalized. It's not the number of searches per month, not the number of people that they serve either.
So that's what I'm asking. What do you price around?
Basically, a specific SLA of a service that they get, of information feed.
Okay, but aren't they getting significantly more value out of your technology if they're helping 100,000 people every month versus 10 people per month? And so are you telling me if someone licenses it and they only think they're going to have 10 searches per month versus 100,000 per month, it's the same price?
It may be. It depends again on the way we're modeling it for them. It's not like we have. Yes, it's a service platform that we have. Okay, but that doesn't mean that the business agreement that we have is uniform. Okay, so it's not repeating necessarily the same. I don't necessarily expect that every deal that we have will be modeled in the same fashion. So and would be used in the same way. So we do have, I'd say, more level customization per deal, more per the deal than for the product or service that we actually offer.
Got it. So this is more like a productized service. There's kind of professional services on top of the underlying software based off every deal.
Again, there's a little bit of tweaking to get our form factor into their app, website mode, but that's it. We're not selling professional services. We're not marking up.
But Tal, you just said every deal is different and not uniform. So you can't have both. It's either you're selling a uniform product and there's no services, or you're selling something highly customized and there's a lot of service.
Exactly, but no, it's actually different. There is a between in those two things. I understand where you're coming from completely, okay? But there actually is a way to do this. The service is very general purpose, and it's like easy to API, easy to incorporate. There's a little bit of tweak to make that happen, and then it's running. Okay, so there's no. Imagine, let's say there's a $200,000 deal and $2,000 worth of customization. What do you think? And all the rest is the same thing. It's just the same engine block, and it works. So what do you say? Yes, every deal has that $2,000 component, but it doesn't mean that the business is a customized, solution. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Then it would go back to my point. You are selling basically the same thing to every person. It's not highly custom. I mean, you said it was highly customized. It's not the same.
It adopts a very different form. Okay, but it requires very little effort to make it so.
Got it. Okay, cool. I totally get it. We beat this point to the ground. I get it. There's definitely a middle ground. I see how you're optimizing that with APIs, and the 2,000 to 200,000 ratio is helpful to understand. How many of these licensing deals have you signed? Is it kind of the same as the biopharma stuff, like 10-ish?
No, less. This is much rarer. So
okay.
So we have a handful of those, but they're long term, so they're nice.
Yeah. Now, are you getting 3 years of like all that cash up front, or it's like a 3-year deal and they pay every month, every year?
So usually the first year is almost up front, and then it continues.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say, if you figure out a way to get all 3 years up front, you figure out how to bridge the cash gap. You don't have to go raise $1 million to $5 million now and take dilution, right?
Good point. I'm having that debate actually myself, because right now we're structuring additional deals.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm really debating, racking my brain. What do I want? Do I want all this cash up front and then get addicted to having the cash, and then I need to, you know what I'm saying? And then I need to service the deal for 3 years without seeing a dime.
Yep.
Or do I actually prefer to have the cash trickle in over time?
Time, value, money. Always cash up front.
Yeah, and somebody wise told me that today as well. And my intuition was kind of thinking, maybe I just want to get what I'm paying, what I'm giving value for right now. Anyway, by the way, from revenue recognition perspective, you can't recognize it.
Well, yeah, okay? But you can still reinvest it. That's the whole point of a SaaS company. You can reinvest it quicker and drive faster growth.
Good point. So again, it's good we're having this discussion. Maybe it'll change how I price these new deals.
I'm not trying to change you or convince you. I'm just, it's helpful to understand how you think about this. So look, hey, we're out of time. I do want to kind of summarize here though. So you mentioned the biopharma deals kind of between $80,000 and $90,000 kind of year one kind of contract values. You mentioned you closed, call it 4 of those in the past 6 to 12 months. So if I take kind of 4 times 80,000, you can kind of back into 320 grand in revenue there from that line. And you said that makes about 50% of your revenue stream. So if I double that, the licensing side, if it also makes about 320, I mean, it's fair to say you guys are what, around 600 or 700 grand per year right now in value?
I'm not going to confirm, deny that right now, but I do have a problem of time because I have to be on another call.
Yeah, that's fine, Tal. That's fine, Tal. By the way, I'm just multiplying your numbers you gave me. That's not me making any big assumptions. So
I'm not, and I'm not confirming nor denying. It's we're not revealing our full details of financials.
But Tal, just to be clear, you already said 80 to 90,000 year one ACV, and you said 3 deals closed the past. I mean, you already gave that data, so those would have to be wrong if that number's wrong. You see what I'm saying?
I understand that.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. I understand you have to go. Thanks so much, Tal. MediaVisor, again, guys, helping you get better, more customized, more personalized information about whatever you're experiencing health-wise. 130,000 subscribers, founded in 2012, launched in 2013. 2 revenue streams, 7 full-time folks, 35 around the world, 1 to 5 million bucks raising right now. Tal, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you, Nathan.